What's up, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with another Marvel Legends haul. That's right. Hit that GameStop up with a renewed focus. Oh no, with my new focus, maybe, of getting these Build-A-Figure sets put together, and came across a little gold as it relates to that. So if you want to see what I picked up, stay tuned for the video. So before we get into all of this goodness, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so when videos like this drop ever so randomly, you are one of the first people to know and can make the conscious decision as to whether or not to watch it now or later. As long as you watch it, we appreciate you. Also, shout out to the YouTube channel members, the ever-growing list of people that supporting this channel by hitting that join button located right below this video screen if you're watching this on a desktop or laptop device. However, if you are watching on a mobile device, there is a link in the description below. Also, the Patreon members, you can support the channel by clicking the link in the description below for the Patreon membership. And if you buy comics from me, you will see more value there than the YouTube membership. So if you had to choose one or the other, keep that in mind. Also, visit gocollect.com for all of your comic collecting questions. Also, with a pay-for membership, you can get even more in-depth analysis. And so, let's check this out. So having got into the Build-A-Figures this past week, which you have, by the time this video airs, seen some of those videos or all those videos come out, you'll see that I've gone down another rabbit hole, it seems. So these are the ones that I was able to pick up at the local GameStop about 20 miles down the road. As luck would have it, most of them are on clearance. So there you go. So one of the figure lines that I collect, and you hear me say over and over again, is the Age of Apocalypse, the best what if story ever told. And I was only lacking a few. So today I picked up Wild Child. Used to have, years ago, used to have the Marvel Legends. I think it was Toy Biz maybe back then, of Sabretooth. And I think I still have the comic book that came with it. It didn't come with a Build-A-Figure, it came with the comic book. And had the Sabretooth that would have matched this, but I sold it on eBay or something. So, yeah, this is the Wild Child version. Of course, in the Age of Apocalypse, Wild Child was just that. He, in the comic side, where he was a member of Alpha Flight and later X Factor, he had actually some semblance of human personality. In the Age of Apocalypse, he did not. So again, David Nakayama art on the side that doesn't need to be neglected, and another figure down on the list. I also picked up the Weapon X, the Wolverine minus a hand. Of course, in the story, Cyclops and him got into a fight. He poked Cyclops' eye out, and Cyclops blasted his hand off. But I'm not quite sure. I guess it just didn't. It just made for a good story, I guess. Why his hand did not grow back as opposed to what it normally would have done, because Wolverine has been in definitely tougher situations than that. I mean, down to the bone, and has regenerated back. I guess just who's telling the story, right? But the claws were retracted, and so as you found out in the fourth installment of Weapon X, if you remember the story from back then, that the claws came through the little hand like so. So David Nakayama art on the side. And let's see where we're at in this 7-part Sugarman Build-A-Figure. Okay, got Jean Grey, got X-Man, Sunfire. Now I got Wild Child and Weapon X. And I have Morph! The only one that I lack is Dark Beast. And Dark Beast, I could actually build the figure I believe, unless the hand is part of the actual hammer. I don't think it is. I think the hammer just fits in there. I could actually build the figure now and just not have the hammer because that's what comes with Dark Beast. But Dark Beast is the final one that I need to complete this set. So I was able to quickly, or fairly quickly, grab all of those figures. And I have a good inclination where I can get it from. I just don't go down that way all that often. But hey, it might deserve a trip tomorrow. Might deserve a trip tomorrow. We'll see. Tomorrow, as in the sense of the time I'm taping this video. So uh, don't let that confuse you. So the other figure was the Strong Guy figure. So I picked up today Sunspot. So Sunspot, who was a big part of the New Mutants for the whole New Mutants run. He left in what, New Mutants 98, 99, right before it ended, and they joined X-Force. Later on, he joins Cable's X-Force after they rescue him. And I think they've used him in U.S. Avengers. I don't think I really liked that rendition of him, but sometimes a character grows, sometimes they devolve. Depends on who's writing them, right? And then also picked up Marvel's Warpath. Obviously, Warpath, the brother to Thunderbird, one of the first X-Men killed in action. I guess technically he was the only X-Men killed in action. More for Changeling, as he was known then, faked like he was Professor X and died. Would that count? I don't know. But he died in X-Men 95. His brother did. He comes along and wants to take vengeance, joins the Hellions, and then later on will join different renditions of X-Force. Haven't really seen him, I don't think, in House of X, Powers of 10 to any degree, but he's since changed costumes, and his powers have evolved over time. So let's see what we got here. We got the blue costume Deadpool. We got Black Tom Cassidy. We got Deadpool's wife or ex-wife Maverick. Got Sunspot now. Got Warpath now. And we already had Captain Deadpool. So that's right. I've been able to collect all 7 of the Marvel Legends figures to build the Deadpool. So that's what we're going to do now. I picked up some other toys. Today I picked up a Red Hood. Which if you're keeping up or anything, I actually already have a Red Hood. I took him out, unboxed him. Pretty cool figure. And I found one. This is like the second one I've ever seen out in the wild. And at the Walgreens, no less. So I had to pick him up. I don't know if I'm going to sell him or do him as a giveaway. Leave a comment down below if you'd be interested in picking up something like that, winning something like that. So first figure out, and this is probably, no, this is, aside from my X-Men, my Wolverine and Hulk one that came in the 2-pack. So this is the first single pack that I've opened since I've gotten these Marvel Legends figures. So the first pack was very easy to open. There's benefits. You didn't have to cut those little tangles. But let's talk about figures. Got some good flexibility with the head. Let's see how, okay, his arms come out, bend, wrist, twist. His belt, let's see, his belt move? Yeah, got to have pockets for a Rob Liefeld rendition of Warpath, right? Okay, so he gets punched by a hole. So that's pretty cool. This leg's kind of loose. I don't know if he's been shaking a leg inside the package, and then that actually turns, so that's a little bit different. And he still has the ankle movement that the Marvel action figures typically do. And there we go. And so, pretty cool. Doesn't have any accessories. I guess he didn't need any. He's Warpath. He's on a Warpath. He's got his shoulder pads, and that's all he needs to play football. So, well, just dawned on me. Oh. Just dawned on me. It's like, wait a minute, he's supposed to have accessories. The Build-A-Figure Jason. All right, so he does have an extra set of hands. So he's in his fist right now, and then he also has the hands like he's going to reach out and hold something or choke somebody or whatever. And then you have Strong Guy's leg. I don't remember where Strong Guy's first appearance was, but well, was it maybe towards the end of Lila Cheney and all that, and then with Shadow King, which was what, 277, 278 of Uncanny X-Men. Of course, he joined the new cast of X Factor, and that's where I remember seeing him for the first time. So I will say that these, at least from these two, that the Marvel Legends figures are a lot easier to unpack. I don't know, for a thief, I guess that would be good. For me, that would be good. I don't know how good it is for the retailer. So, Strong Guy's chest here. He's got the classic X Factor uniform on, and see, bends a little bit there, bends a little bit there. Okay, so he's got a back. So I need to put his hands on first before I put on his back. But I actually can go ahead and put on his leg. It might be easier to put it on this way versus having all those other things in the way of me getting a good grip of putting that on there. You know where he can work at right now? IHOP. Badooch. So Sunspot has some bubbling sunspots. Get it? Sunspot's bubbling out of his back, and then these go through his fist, so like it's building up. So that's kind of a neat way to do it. Yeah. Kind of cool. Sunspot never was my favorite of the New Mutants, but cool guy you can count on. So since we're going to put the leg in, other leg in, we're going to open up Captain Deadpool. It's a pirate's life for Deadpool with plenty of adventure. Oh, and doubloons. So many doubloons. I thought he was going to say booty, but that might not be correct if they're wanting kids to buy their stuff or something. I don't know. Wow, that was kind of harsh. So, as I said in the previous video, I was not too hip on picking up this Deadpool. It'll be, give me a classic Deadpool costume, or maybe the X-Force Deadpool costume, maybe the black and gray. That one's a little more persnickety because of the cape. They always put the cape down in there, behind there. And so I'll probably, just for space sake, get rid of this particular Deadpool. So if you're interested, so this is Captain Deadpool and all his little quirkiness. Let's see, he's kind of stiff. You'd think Deadpool, with all his zaniness, would be loosened up, right? It's a pirate's life. All right. And so he's got a little handheld. Is a musket when it's handheld like that. You got the traditional Deadpool katana, and then you got a pirate's saber. A pirate's life for me. It's hard being Deadpool. See what I did there? See what I did there? And then you got the other leg. He has many muscles as strong guy in order to get this thing on. I'm telling you. All right, so strong guy. So far, this is how he's shaping out, and there we go. So let's see about getting one of the arms next, because that's the back. Let's do Maverick. So this is Maverick, for those, unless you're reading the current edition of Wolverine. Maverick hadn't been seen in a while because they killed him off. And he was kind of a cool character back in the day. But when Strife's legacy virus killed him off, I was like, that's kind of a cool end to him. It wasn't like it was, oh man, I hate to see him go, but at the same time, it was like, man, he was a cool character. Sometimes, let's say Captain Marvel as an example. Would I like Captain Marvel, talking about Marvel, as much if he had not died and stayed dead? Would he be just as relevant today, or stand out in my mind or your mind if he had just come back every time you turn around like all these other action, heroes do? I don't know. Guess we'll never get to know. So he's got looks like some kind of deal with a silencer on there. He's got some other kind of big gun there. And does this like hook on the side? How does that do that? Oh, okay. It still goes in his fit hand. Now he does have a holster on both sides. One is usable, and one is not. So we're going to holster one of his weapons. Don't remember what the whole deal with his whole getup was. I don't know if that was a way to kind of help harness his power for his mutant power, which he can collect, like send out concussive blasts based on kinetic energy. So kinetic energy, which is what Gambit harnesses, blast, kind of like maybe Bishop. So maybe this gun would go better in there. Yeah, that gun goes better in there. So this gun it is, sir. He's got his little trigger finger out. Well, I'm getting this done. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button. Help the YouTube algorithm. There we go. Get his finger around the pistol. This is not safe, people. This is not safe. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, so this is one of those figures that I wouldn't mind having, or won't mind having in the collection. So let's see here. So it doesn't mark on here if it's the left or the right arm. Now, obviously, I can deduce things based on where the thumb is, but just a thought, because I remember on the Merciless figure that I did a Build-A-Figure for. If you hadn't checked that out, check it out. But McFarlane put that on there. I'm just saying. Just saying. So pump that in, bend it down. So he's got elbow maneuverability there, and his wrist moves back and forth. And then, there's going to be limited space up. And you would expect a lot of dexterity when it comes to strong guy. A little bit loose, though. I mean, I like it loose in the sense that it makes it easier, but then they start getting wallered out. It's not that great, right? Okay, so this is Shakla. Never can pronounce her name. I think Dungan brought her into the mix. I don't know if she was a character before she was in Deadpool. Let me know in the comments down below if she was, or if she wasn't. I remember reading it and I was like, because if you recall Deadpool from back in the day, even back into the X-Force days, he wasn't like that zany. And, he was trying to find his own. Each writer tries to put their little mark on a character. And so he really hadn't found his own until that first couple of Deadpool series, and where he starts breaking the fourth wall and all that kind of stuff. Until then, he was just a merc with a mouth, right? But I think they took it a little bit too far. Then they started trying to dial it back. They made him a hero. He's been all over the place. So this is one of the characters I'm not too hip on having. She's got this little cape, little cheap cape, very cheap. Got this little cheap plastic jewelry, and then a belt right there. Of course, you can lift that up, and that's what we'll do. Yeah. And in the other video, I think I mentioned son saying, "Ooh, baby shark, baby shark." There he is. And then we're gonna get Deadpool, or Strong Guy rather, other arm. So he is coming together. Come together. Right. So he is in there. It's like Prego. It's in there. Seems like that's a little low. Maybe it'll fix it when I put the back on. So let's, keeping with leaving the back last, let's put the head on, which is from the blue Deadpool. I don't mind the suit so much. It's a throwback suit he wore like once or twice, if I recall correctly. I like the gray Deadpool suit. And I thought that the way Rick Remender handled most of the characters in Uncanny X-Force, I liked. But I like the way you did Deadpool, because if you're wanting to make, these days, there's no such thing as a villain, which is another story altogether, but there's no such thing as a villain. Everybody's an anti-hero. What defines a hero? Every hero's got to have flaws. Well, yeah, they do, but why do you have to be so many and be so quick to find out? Sorry, all that noise there. But the way he did Deadpool in that, I thought was good. So Deadpool, the blue and yellow costume, throw back to the yellow and blue costume that the original X-Men wore. Of course, you got to have the Liefeld pockets, and his sheaths are on the back, so you can put them there for storage. And they face opposite directions. If you notice the cuts on there, so kind of pitch accurate, right? So I don't mind having this one in the PC, and of course he's got guns, which we expect him to have as well. There we go. Guido, maybe? Better known as Strong Guy. I was writing laziness, people, at its best. And so for the 7th piece, at least for this build right here, so if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button and the subscribe button for video content like this. I do mystery box unboxings, auctions, toy unboxings, live shows, etc., etc. So this is Black Tom Cassie. Not a big fan of him. However, he is a big part of the X-Men, meaning him and Juggernaut are big buds. He's Teresa Cassidy, or Siren's uncle, Banshee's cousin, right? She calls him uncle. Anyway, you know how the family dynamics go in comic books a lot of times. So, and he's a mutant, so he is part of the whole deal. And I kind of like this better than the one they got now, where he's like bioplant, which is something that they started. I thought he had died, and they brought him back. Maybe they just brought him back. Hickman brought him back to relevance. I don't know, but he's a big part of the Krakoan security now. So that's back in his heyday right there. So it's one I probably wouldn't have gone out and bought first, but it's one I don't mind having. So the back for Strong Guy popped right on. And so there we have it. We've got Strong Guy. And don't you feel special? So I think they actually used this X Factor team in the X-Men animated series back in the day. But to give you kind of an idea, so check that out. He's almost as tall as the Merciless figure. The Merciless figure had how many parts? 4. They had 7 for this. So, and I don't know how much DC creative force that DC puts on their stuff, or they just let McFarlane have his way with whatever, just doing the final sign-offs. But I imagine Marvel has some pretty strong deals when it comes to their Marvel Legends and which ones they put out, because like they just put out the Shang-Chi ones because the movie's going to be coming out. And surprisingly, at the Walmart 20 miles from me, they had the Shang-Chi toys. One none I was really worried about getting, and I'm not a big fan of the House of X line that they come out with. Just there's a lot better ones out there. But let me know what you're collecting down below. If you like Baby Shark, if you like these unboxings, if you're collecting the Marvel Legends, blame Justin Birch from Two Brothers Comics for getting me into this rat race. And so do want to shout out the channel members again. Thank you for supporting the channel. And as you've seen the scrolling banner, please consider joining the channel and supporting it by hitting that join button or the link in the description below. And you can also check out the Patreon membership and see if that makes sense to you. And also visit gocollect.com for all your collecting questions answered for free. And you know how it goes. Until next time, keep reading and keep collecting. Adios.